And now, a word from our sponsor.
There are no Sheik Bay convention minutes from 1930, 31, 32, or 33. It did, that organization did not exist. The Moorish Temple of America, Inc. Okay? But here's something amazing that I found one time when it comes to the words Moorish Temple of America, Inc. I think it was in 1931 or 1932. If you look at the convention program for that year, it says Moorish Temple of America, Inc. So, the Moorish Temple of America, Inc. did not first demonstrate its head in 1934. It was here in something like 1931 and 32, and Sheik Bay was not a part of it.
Right.
It was not a part of it.
So with that, I'm going to turn the floor over to our Grand Sheik, the People's Grand Sheik, our National Chairman, Toronto Johnson Bey, aka Taharka Boke Bey. You have the floor, Grand Sheik.
Islam. Can you hear me?
Coming through loud and clear.
Anyway, Islam, family. Happy Holy Day. Thank Allah for Holy Day. I'm telling you, it gives us a minute to just stop what we doing and just focus our full attention on the universal creator, Allah. You know, a lot of times we need to take a second to just pause, hold up, wait a minute, and just divert our focus straight to our higher self. You know, it'd be nice if we could do it all day sometimes, but you know, that's not the case. We're not always in the position to do it like that all the time. But for now, with that being said, for now, the time that we can take is the few hours that we have between 7 and 10. We can focus all of our attention on the great universal creator Allah. And I think that's a good thing because many times we are distracted throughout our day. So family, give me a sec. Let me make sure that we are on. Give me 1 second. Make sure that we're on Facebook and everything is going. So thank you for Facebook for reaching out. Thank you for all those who are joining us, and a special honor to those who are attending their meetings, because in these meetings, I'm of the thought that we're going to find something that can help us along our journey, because I found so much that has helped me on my journey. So first and foremost, let me rise and give praise to the great God of the universe, Allah. I give honor to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honor to the forerunner of the Prophet, Marcus Mosiah Garvey. I give honor to each and every one of you. I give honor to everyone that was here speaking before me. I give honor to everyone in the meeting. I give honor for those who's going to hear me after the meeting has officially shut down for the evening. So this title that I've titled today is called, You Must Knock the Brains Out of Falsehood in Order to Get to Heaven. You must knock the brains out of falsehood in order to get to heaven. What I did was I took a statement out the Holy Quran of Mecca where it says we hurl the truth at falsehood and we knock its brains out. But what is the point of knocking the brains out of falsehood? Because we got to understand that falsehood is meticulously working the mechanics of trickery to convince us that it's real. So falsehood has a sense of brains also. But we must knock the brains out of falsehood to reveal that it's nothing but an illusion, that it's not real. that you are not really thinking with your own divine mind. You're thinking with a carnal mind, and we're going to knock the brains out of it. In order to get to heaven, that's what you must do. In all aspects of life. In this rendition of a story of knocking the brains out of falsehood, Jesus is speaking to a brother who literally is on the path. He's on the path. We're going to get to that in a minute. But let me, hold up this for a second. Let me get to the beginning of the story. Let me get to the beginning of the story before we talk about him being on this path. Let me explain something to you. Our prophet tells us many times that we must have the light to receive the light. Everybody is not at that stage of their growth and development that they have the light. Sister Robin pointed out something in the chapter that I'm also going to underscore, where our brother Jesus could see what was going on with the people. See, we can see the good in people, but are we able to see the dark, murky ethers of the people so we can avoid and get out the way? We love to see the smile. We know what that means. Jesus looked at the toil, but a mastermind is able to look at the drawn hard lines of toil, the happiness, and the low vibration of the dark ethers, the murky ethers that a person is swimming in. This is one thing that we have to master on our journey. First of all, you got to know how it feels when you are down and gloomy. You got to know how your body responds chemically to your electric pulses of being in gloom or being sad. How do your body respond? There's an expression for a sad face. You can see sadness in eyes. How do a body respond when the chemical endorphins make you excited? The cheeks perk up and you smile. Well, there's another level of the lowest of the low where people travel in that is murky. Then there's a highest of the high where people travel in that's divine. The Moorish American Muslim strives to understand that within himself or in herself so we can see it in our journey so we know how to navigate. So our master teacher, Brother Jesus, is watching the people in the mind as he meditates. And he's able to see so he can succor those that need him. And so the chapter reads, Jesus teach. Family. Jesus teach the common people at the spring. He tells them how to obtain eternal happiness. There's two statements are being made. One, he is teaching, the next he is telling. We have to know when someone is teaching us something, when someone is teaching you something, that's going to take a process. When someone is telling you something, you have to know that it's right and you got to go that way or you're going to miss the blessing. When a teacher is teaching you something, that's something that you can examine over time. When someone is telling you something, it's imperative that if what that person is telling you is right and exact, that you go that way or you lose. So the mind have to be able to decipher when the right person is telling you something, you may not understand it in full. I told people a while ago, and I tell you again today, I began to put all my baggage down when I said Prophet Noble Drew Ali is right. If I don't understand it, then it'll come later. If I can't comprehend it, it's going to have to come later, because so far, I can't prove none of this wrong. So far, it's right and exact. So far, what's yet to be discovered, I'll just have patience for it. Because the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said his footprints are clearly cut. He told us which way to go. Either we go that way or we don't. He said truth will set you free. Either we are going to embrace truth or we are not. This is how you knock the brains out of falsehood. You embrace truth to the fullest extent of the capacity in which you can function in it in the mind until you can manifest it to the full expression of it. Take no wooden nickels when it comes to truth. Wooden nickels don't spin nowhere. They look like nickels, but they're wooden nickels. They don't work. So he tells the people how to obtain eternal happiness. Obtain something is when you're going after it. To obtain something, you're working for it, you're asking for it, you're buying it, or you producing it. So you can obtain it, so you can. So what are you doing? He's telling people how to obtain it. And in the story, we're going to know whether he's working, he's telling them how to work for it, how to buy it, how to produce it, or ask for it. We know what he's telling this brother. He's telling the brother to work for it. He's telling them to work for it. Verse 1, it says, in silent meditation, Jesus sat beside a flowing spring. It was a holy day, and many people of the servant caste were near the place. Jesus saw the hard-drawn lines of toil on every brow. Stop there. Jesus was at the spring, and he saw the hard-drawn line toils on every brow. There was no look of joy in any face. Not one in the group could think of anything but toil. And Jesus spoke to one. And Jesus spoke to one and said, why are you so sad? This one represented the whole constituent. Why are you so sad, he says? Have you no happiness in life? And if you would tell somebody that today, they'd be like, what you know about me? You don't know me. When you read the story all the way through, they call him a strange teacher. See, today we are so arrogant that we can't even feel the impression of the divine truth coming through our brother or through our sister. We want to question them before they even finish the sentence. But our brother Jesus found one that could feel the impression of the divine that was coming through him. And they had a dialogue. See, we got to be able to feel when one come in our presence that had the ability to express the divine through themselves, because Allah speaks through man to man. It ain't coming through no cloud. It ain't coming through no ground. It ain't coming through no all of these little metaphors that we read in the Bible. It's coming through a man or woman. And we got to be smart enough, intelligent enough to know when it's happening. And this one knew. And he responds respectfully. The man replied, we scarcely know the meaning. Hold up. Have you no happiness in life? He said, we scarcely know the meaning of that word. He's speaking for the whole constituent. We toil to live and hope for nothing else but toil, and bless the day when we can cease our toil and lay down and rest in the Buddha city of the dead. And Jesus said, and Jesus' heart was stirred with pity. The reason why a lot of people cannot express the truth and the full extent of the truth, because they do not have empathy for people. They don't have pity for people. They do not have pity, empathy for people. They cannot feel people's pain. And so they will continue to express and propagate and push lies. They don't see the effect that the lies have on people. But Jesus' heart was stirred. Not only could he feel it, he was stirred. See, that's a different level of empathy. And Jesus' heart was stirred with pity and with love for the poor toilers. And he said, toil should not make a person sad. Man should be happiest when they toil. When hope and love are back of toil, then all life is filled with joy and peace, and this is heaven. What is heaven again? When all life is filled with joy and peace. That means your struggles that you call struggles is filled with joy and peace. When your down days are down, it's filled with joy and peace. When your up days are up, it's filled with joy and peace. Regardless of what happened, your days are filled with joy and peace, and this is heaven. So when we say there's a heaven within, what are we talking about? A state of mind? What state of mind? When your days are filled with joy and peace, no matter what you up against, no matter what you face, no matter what brick wall you think you ran into, your days are still filled with joy and peace. And remember, he's teaching eternal happiness, which means it's ongoing, never stopping, always was, always will be. So no matter what you face with, it's the call of Allah, and it's the call of Allah that you face it with joy and peace. And this is heaven. Remember, he's teaching them eternal happiness. Eternal means nothing. Nothing can stop it. Telling them how to obtain it. With joy and peace, and this is heaven. Do you not know that such a heaven is for you? The man replied, listen to the man. The man replied, of heaven we have heard, but when it's so far away, we must live so many lives to reach that place. See, in the teachings of Buddhism, they have the teachings of the reincarnation in the multiple lives, representation of the soul. They have that teaching. Yet, it becomes a little flawed when it gets to the point where the heaven or the ideal that was described by the ancients now become a place where somebody must go and make a physical journey to, even when they are born again. Because what he's saying is that we can get there, but it's going to take many lives. So basically, the lesson becomes convoluted because he's saying that we're going to be born again to go and get there, and then we got to find the destination once we born again. See how crazy the lessons become convoluted? He's saying that nirvana is going to be a city somewhere once he's born again after many lives. When Buddha taught that nirvana is the ultimate paradise. But now it's so convoluted. Just like we see our prophet coming to bring the true and divine creed of Islam, because before the prophet, it was so convoluted. It was necessary for a prophet to come and bring it in the fashion that he brought it. And now Jesus is bringing it to those who follow Buddha. It goes on to say, the man replied, of heaven we heard, but it is so far away, we must live so many lives before we reach that place. And Jesus said, my brother man, your thoughts are wrong. Your heaven is not far away. It's not a place of metes and bounds. It's not a country to be reached. It is a state of mind. Again, what is that state of mind? When joy and peace fills, when life is filled with joy and peace, this is heaven. The state of mind is when life is filled with joy and peace. The state of mind is meaning that whatever you face with, you are still filled with joy and peace. Ain't that simple? That's real basic. So it tells you that when you up against something, try to maintain your joy and peace. When you feel disappointment, try to maintain your joy and peace. When you feel discouraged, try to maintain your joy and peace. Because this is heaven. And if you practice it enough, you know that whatever you face with is just the process to get you through to where you need to get to. So it goes on. Jesus gave a command. He said, now, Allah never made a heaven for man. He never made a hell. He says, we are creators and we make our own. We are creators, the lowercase c, and we create our own. When you look in the book of Genesis, you can't tell me that one place in the creation of creation, in the book of creation, in the story of creation, you can't show me one place where the God of the Bible, the universal creator of the Bible, created a heaven for man. Can't show me that. You might see the word heaven. You might hear the firmaments of heaven. But you can't show me that. Nor can you show me in this book where God, Allah, created a hell. You can't show me that. You can't show me that in the Quran. You can't show me that in no book of what people consider to be holy book. So our prophet put it right there on Front Street that we are creators and we make our own. And then he says, now cease to look for heaven in the sky. And then what he says after that, just open up the windows of your heart. Have we been taught how to open up the windows of our heart? Do we even know how to open up the windows of our heart? Jesus gave the analogy that we must be born again. We say things like we must empty our cup. In other words, you must get to the point where you are receptive to new things that you're not used to. But the new things that you're receptive to is not new, it's only new to you. We got to be able to accept a science that we may not be familiar with, but something in us says it's something about this. Opening up the windows of your heart means that you are ready to receive. Whenever something is open, it's ready to receive. If a store open, it's ready to receive customers. If a door is open, it's going to receive some breeze or something. If you open the door, so if you're opening up, you must open the door. That means you got to let go of all the hang-ups. You got to let go of all the folklore. You got to let go of all the wives' tales. You got to let go of all the strange little stories you done heard. And you got to deal with raw truth. That's how you open up the windows of your heart. To receive it, you have to be able to accept something that you might not have heard before. But it makes sense, and it gives you the ability to look it over and decide whether it's good, hold on to it till later, or just trash it. See, the body teaches us with food. When the body takes in food, it draws out the nutrients and excrete that which it don't need. So we have to wipe the slate clean, open up the windows of our heart, take it, because the old information obviously didn't do us no good. What we used to have didn't get us much. I'm telling you, since I gave it all to the Moorish Science Temple of America and the teacher of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, man, I didn't jump leaps and bounds in life. In life. I stopped playing with it. I stopped acting like I'm a Friday Muslim. Stop acting like I'm a Sunday Muslim. I stopped acting like that I'm an opportunist Muslim, that when the opportunity comes, I can talk Muslim talk. When the opportunity presents itself, oh, Islam. Stop acting like that. I just got into the mode that it's a way of life. Even with my faults, it's a way of life. Even with my shortcomings, it's a way of life. Even with my things that I need to work on really, really bad, it's still a way of life. When I went to do that, that's when things changed. I opened up. I was opening up. So opening up the windows of your heart is meaning that you are ready to receive. But you must open it up. Jesus said, just open up the windows of your heart. Many people don't even know how to open up the windows of your heart. I'm giving you the degree right now. You got to be able to be fresh in the mind and receive information and not be temperamental about information, not be emotional about information. But it's okay to be critical about information. But if you don't know, you just don't know. You set it aside to maybe a later time. And if it ain't no good, you throw it away. And if it's good, and if it's true, it is good, you use that as the building block. That's the flood of light. That's the flood of light. So our prophet teaches us. Just open up the windows of your heart. And like a flood of light, heaven will come and bring you boundless joy. Then the toil will be no cruel task. The people were amazed and gathered close. Remember, he was talking to one person. Now everybody coming close. They was ear hustling. So you ain't got to talk to everybody. Y'all remember what I said about social media? When you're talking to one, you got to know that there's others are listening. And the person that you're talking to normally is not going to get the message that you're presenting because their mind made up. This was a different set of circumstances, and this person was receptive. Now, everybody that was ear hustling, they gathered close to hear this strange young master speak. He was strange to them, but they recognized that he was a master. Can you say that someone speaking kind of strange to you and at the same time say, oh, but this got to be a master teacher? See, we haven't got there yet. Some of us haven't reached that level of understanding yet. that it may be strange, that it may take a time for me to understand, that it may take a little while for me to decipher. But this is definitely a master here. See, that's a serious level of understanding right there. This is definitely a master. No, I don't get it completely. No, I don't understand it right this moment, but this is definitely a master. This shows you that the people that he was talking to had some sort of understanding of where they were going along their journey. And when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So Jesus appear at the opportune time to help the toilers get to the next level. See what I'm talking about? See, we got to see everything with our divine eye. So they gathered close to hear this strange young master speech, imploring him to tell more about the Father God Allah, about the heaven that men can make on earth, about the boundless joy. You got to make this heaven. You got to make it. And Jesus spoke a parable. Here is the famous story that all Moorish Americans love to talk about. A certain man possessed a field. I'm not going to go over to the whole story because we heard it so many times. But I want to underscore something about the opening of this story. A certain man possessed a field. Every person is not that certain man or certain woman. And every person do not possess that field. Some have to wait a few lifetimes to become that particular person. Some have to wait a couple more steps to become that particular person. To possess, to own that field where they can get to that hidden treasure. Most people are not at the level. You know, there's a small percentage of the planet Earth that is waking up to the true knowledge of Allah, of God. A lot of people have not reached that level yet. But we keep teaching. There's a lot of people haven't reached that level yet where they become that certain man. And so Jesus gives it a parable that when you go to a town and they refuse to hear you, I'm paraphrasing, just wipe the dust off, shake the dust off, and go to the next thing. See, many times we waste a lot of time with conversations that are not going nowhere because we fail to recognize that that ain't the certain person that's possessing the field. That's just not, and this just right now, that's just not the certain person. So as we say in the noble temples, we go to the people that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali went to. When the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was teaching, there was no people running around with fairs talking about Islamism. There was no people walking around with fairs talking about they Moorish American. That's the people that we want to talk to. We want to talk to the people that never even heard of this before. We won't want to spend hours of time with people who think that they know. If we do that, that's only for the ear hustler. So they can gather around and hear the master speak. Because many people think they already know. So it becomes redundant to talk to one who think he knows without the objective for the ear hustler to come in so they can know. That's my style. Anybody that I engage on social media, it's not for them. It's to wake up the masses pivoting off of their foolishness. And it's not personal. If you go work in a poop factory and sometimes you get poop on your hand, you can't be mad. You in the poop factory. So when people talk crazy, don't make me mad. When people make up stories about me, don't make me mad. We in the poop factory. Every once in a while, you might get some poop on you. And it's okay. You're in the poop factory. But being in the poop factory is about making sure that the water comes out sterile and fresh. That's what it's all about. It's all about making sure that no diseases run rampant. And we have been diseased with lies. We have been diseased with manipulation. We have been diseased with stories about Prophet Noble Drew Ali, about Mary, about Pearl, about Emiliel, about Delia Miliel. We've been plagued with these things. So now we in the poop factory. That's right. I got on the white suit. That's right. I got the mask on and everything. That's right. But this message is for those who are looking, those who are seeking eternal happiness. So it says, a certain man possessed a field. The soil was hard and poor. By constant toil, he could scarcely provide food to keep his family from want. Stop there. These are the people that we need to be talking to. Those who possess the field. Those who don't know how to dig and get the jewels or gems within the heart of the mind. Those who think they know and got the gems, those that think they got the jewels, those that think they got the science, what you gonna tell them? Ain't nothing you gonna tell them. They think they got it. You got to go to the ones, and you got to be able to see the ones that really want it. The purpose of the Moorish Science Temple of America is to uplift fallen humanity. No need to cast your pearls to swine. It's a waste of time. Let me drop down real quick before my time run out. It says, and then he dug away the rocky soil deep down in the earth. He found a mine of gold deep down in the earth. The body ain't nothing but earth. Deep down in the earth, he found a mine of gold. And Jesus said, the sons of men are toiling on hard desert plains and burning sands and rocky soils and doing what their fathers did, not dreaming they can do aught else. This is happening in the Moorish Science Temple of America. These administrations calling themselves Moorish Science Temple of America, they're doing what their fathers done. They're being deceptive. They're being misleading. They're lying. They're making up stories for the sake of reputation and fame. While our people die in the streets. That's what's going on. They're not thinking that they can do aught else. They're not thinking they can throw down them lies. They're not thinking that they can throw down them fables. They're not thinking that they can throw down that folklore. They're not thinking they can throw down that made-up story that they've been told and that they taught their children. They feel embarrassed that they got to now tell their children that they raised them on a lie. So they got to carry it on, not thinking that they can do aught else. Little do they know that the truth will set you free. Your children will respect you more, even if they mad at you first. Even if they mad at you first. So it says, behold, a master comes and tells them of hidden wealth and underneath the rocky soil of carnal things, treasures that no man can count. Behold, a master come and tells them of hidden wealth. Today, we've been so messed up in the mind with the institution of slavery and mental slavery that we don't even know what a master look like. The European has put in our mind that the European is a slave master. And so when we hear the term master, we associate it with the pale-skinned nation of Europe, slaveholder. That was another trick. You can never find where the prophet called the European a slave master. He's holding people against their will. The slaveholder. So our prophet Noble Drew Ali gives us the science in plain English right before your face, but me, Miliel, said we don't understand English. We don't understand language. He said if we knew language, we would be all right. We got to pay attention to language because our prophet is a master linguistic. He says, behold, a master comes. Only the pure in heart can recognize the master. The master comes. That's why I say this brother was ready. He was on the path because he recognized. It said a master come. 23, that in the heart the richest gems abound, and he who wills may open the door. You got to will this into existence. Thought is the cause of it all. You must will it to existence. Your whole being must know that this is actual fact. Your mind, your body, your soul, everything must be in tune. You must will it to itself. It said the gems abound, that he who wills, most people don't will to understand the deep hidden treasures within the soul of man, may open the door and find them all. May open the door, meaning you must work. You must reach and open the door. Allegorically, metaphorically, you must do it. Ain't nobody doing it for you. And the people said, make known to us the way that we may find the wealth that lies within the heart. And Jesus opened the way. How did he open the way? He told them. Jesus tells them how. He couldn't do it for them. To obtain eternal happiness. They knew he was a master and they was ready to listen, even though they called him a strange teacher, even though he was in a foreign land. And the toiler saw another side of life, and the toil became a joy, even though he was on another teaching coming from the tribe of Judah. Even though he was from another tribe, as we would say, nationality, a different school of thought, he was able to teach it in such a universal way that they could recognize it in their doctrine. And they vibed with it, and they found eternal happiness. So that's the same thing with us. Whenever we read or listen to another doctrine, it never supersedes the Prophet Noble Drew Ali doctrine. Universal truth is going to agree wherever you find it. However, if you're able to understand, especially the Prophet Noble Drew Ali teaching, the power is in your hand. You got to open up the windows of your heart. You have to open up that door. You got to do it. Ain't nobody going to do it for you. Only thing that a teacher can do is teach and tell you which way to go. It's up to you to take heed. It's up to you. I got a pretty piece of chunk of eternal happiness. If I get upset, it might last tops 5 minutes. Tops. I'm telling you, I'm real tough. It may last tops 5 minutes. It don't happen often, because I get out the way when I feel the energy of the low vibration of the fire of anger, hell cooking in me, I get out the way quickly. I never allow that to own me. I recover real fast. Less than 5 minutes, many a time. I'm gonna get out the way. Because eternal happiness is that level of peace where you can think through, where you can feel danger, where you can feel nonsense, where you can also read people before they even try what they're gonna try. If you're in the grocery store, if you're in a neighborhood, joy and peace of the mind will tap you right into every energy that's around you, tap you into the full spectrum of the energy. And when something was to go down, you're like, man, something don't feel right. Let me get up out of here. You get home and you see one of them crazy Europeans that went a postal up in that demonstration. You be like, whoa. You be like, whoa. That's what eternal happiness is all about. So you can navigate your way and get the experience that you need to reach the state of fruition. With that being said, I yield the floor to our Grand Sheik of the Virtual Temple, Brother S. McCallum Bey, Islam.
Brother S. McCallum Bey.
Islam. Islam, Grand Sheik. Oh man, that was timely. Right on point. What we needed to hear, what we all need to hear. Islam. There is a solution. It's you. You are the solution. And all you got to do, you got to get this. The Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And come in and set in with us every Friday for our Holy Day meeting. And then you'll get the keys to open this up to find that eternal happiness. Islam, that the Grand Sheik spoke about. So, look for us at Join Noble Temples. Join Noble Temples at, what is that? Join Noble Temples at gmail.com. That's right. Join Noble Temples at gmail.com. Ah, wow. All right. Beautiful, beautiful demonstration, Grand Sheik. And I'd like to give honors to everyone that gave their measure this holy day. Excellent measures. And I just like to ask everyone to take to heart what you heard today. Take this, the recording of this meeting. The Grand Sheik is going to have it. It's going to be posted on Facebook and listen to it again. Listen to it again and really, meditate on it. And you'll find that eternal happiness that everyone is searching for. It's not far off. It's right there inside of you. Islam. All right. That's our Holy Day meeting for today. Once again, honors to each and every one of you, and peace and love. Islam. So I'd like to ask for a volunteer to recite chapter 25 of Holy Covenant of the Asiatic Nation. And I'd like to open the floor up to our National Secretary, Sheik Robin Lazelle L, for any additional announcements. You have the floor, Sheik.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
There are no Sheik Kirkland Bay convention minutes from 1930, 31, 32, or 33. It did, that organization did not exist. The Moorish Temple of America, Inc. Okay? But here's something amazing that I found one time when it comes to the was Moorish Temple of America, Inc. I think it was in 1931 or 1932. If you look at the convention program for that year, it says Moorish Temple of America, Inc. So, the Moorish Temple of America, Inc. did not first demonstrate its head in 1934. It was here in something like 1931 and 32, and Sheik Bay was not a part of it.
Right.
It was not a